So why do you think there was no Palestinian country established between 48 and 67?
Because the idea at that time was not really statehood, a Palestinian state. The idea was about confiscating the lands, and it was about the refugees. So you cannot just put us in the corner saying, why did you did not ask for a state in the borders of 1967, as our leadership is asking for right now? Because it's still, you have some issues that you need to discuss, which is the basis of the Palestinian statehood. How come I can establish state and I still have some issues, which is the most important for the Palestinian people?
Like what?
Refugees are in exile. What are you talking about? How you can just go ahead and establish Palestinian state while I have a lot of Palestinian people who has been kicked out of their lands in 1948?
Yeah, but the idea of a Palestinian state is the refugees would go to the Palestinian state.
Well, we refuse the idea of replacement. We refuse it, okay? I don't think that if you come from the States and from California, and at the end of the day, your country is occupied and they ask you to be replaced in Europe, you're not going to accept that. So it's a matter of standards. We as Palestinians refuse this. The matter of replacement is totally refused.
Wait, no. So the opposite would be if I'm American, I have to give the land back to the Indians, not I have to go back to Europe.
What are you talking about? So you want us to give the land to Israel?
No, you're saying everyone has all the Palestinians have to go back to what is today Israel. So all native that existed have to go back to their original lands. So that means, Boston, New York.
Yeah, let me clarify this thing for you. The matter of the Palestinian leadership and the public opinion, it's different, okay? A lot of people, and I can tell you, big percentage of Palestinian people, they refuse the idea of establishing a state on the borders of 1967. So it's something that is still argumentative whenever you're talking about replacing the people, in Ramallah, or while they coming from Jaffa or they coming from Akka. So this is something argumentative. At the end of the day, people like a human being with his dignity, he won't accept the idea of being replaced anywhere, as long as they get back to our country. Talking about the international community, I do recognize the fact that Israel is established. Okay, it's reality. Israel is there. Okay, but at the end of the day, how come as Palestinians we can accept the idea of replacement? It's not about me. I don't come from Jaffa, I don't come from Akka. But at the end of the day, what I'm gonna tell those people who has been waiting for the last 70 years, okay, and at the end of so they can get back to their cities, to their hometowns, and I'm gonna tell them, okay, well, something will replace you, build you a house, and.
But do you think they're actually going to be able to go back? Because the international community in Israel will say, no, absolutely not. There is no going back.
It's about faith, sir. It's about faith.
Okay.
We do believe that this is our country, okay? The Jews, they believe, or the state of Israel, as they recognize it, they do believe that this is the promised land, okay? While many of them, they do not believe even in God. So we do believe in God and we have faith inside us, okay? And we're not going to give up this faith for the reason, for the purpose that we do believe that this is our homeland.
Okay. But even for a better future? Like if you knew that within 67 borders, everyone's going to have a much better life than the next 100 years of suffering.
Listen. We do not, you're not going to put me in the corner for the reason that you're going to adopt this international propaganda that, okay, if you do not recognize Israel for a fact, or you're just asking you don't want peace, okay? You just go and ask for a Palestinian state in the 1967, okay? At the end of the day, as I told you, it's not about that. We're peacemakers. We have been asking for peace. And even though whenever we make the peace agreement with Israel in Oslo, still until nowadays, they're not committed even to the treaty. So how come I'm gonna come and sit in the negotiation table with the people who's killing with the Jews who's killing my own people? This is not acceptable at all. If you're talking about international community resolution or the UN resolution, Israel is above the law. Let's be honest. This is what's reality saying. That's it.
Why was there no, from your opinion, between 1948 and 1967, this was Jordanian, would you call it an occupation?
I'm not sure I can call that occupation. I think that basically they were all the Palestinians going out in the refugee camps out of the country. So someone should have taken control on the West Bank, basically, and Gaza. Since there is, if any country want to be in that position, if you want to have a state there, it has to be fighting the Israeli. But since we couldn't establish that country, Jordan came over and they basically strict to hit and like go back with the Israelis. They did not actually attack them. They did not stop. So they took that position. But at that time, and for the revolutionary view, if any state will take over in Palestine, they have to fight the Israelis directly. And basically, we did not have these sources there.
But why not establish a Palestinian state on what you had then?
Because we don't have power. Because we were so weak.
Oh, as Palestinians?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think you could have demanded? I have no idea. Do you think you could have demanded?
Demand from whom? From
Jordan.
Jordanian?
Yep.
I mean, taking into consideration that Jordan itself was the weakest Arab country there, but we were actually weaker than them. So I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, we actually, because many Palestinians need basically someone to contain them, to contain their beginning of establishing power to conflict with Israel. They needed a country to contain them, and it was Jordan. So we needed them. And if we want to revolt against them, then we gotta lose a country that will contain us.
But you could have had independence.
We will never have any independence under the Israeli occupation.
But then it wasn't Israelis.
That's a myth.
No, but then it wasn't Israelis. It was Jordan. So you could have had something.
I mean, now you're talking about Palestinian state.
No, I'm talking about back then.
But if you want just like simulate the situation for now, there's no Palestinian state. It's just a joke. You know, it's a joke. It's no power, no control.
But we're talking about
nothing.
from 48 to 67.
It's the same thing. It's the same. As long as you're weak, you can't be in a state. As long as you're weak.
So what does power mean in your
Power
mind?
is, I mean, I don't know. What power means is sometimes it differentiates. Sometimes you can actually have the power to fight back with your arm. It's arm resistance. Sometimes you're just like so weak that you only have to fight with your pin, with your idea, with your principle that you will stand for and maybe die for it. And that's, I mean, it goes from level to another. Back then, 1948 till 1967, after the 6 Days War, then we have some kind of 1965 going out, and then we have this, I mean, counter to Israel. Yeah, we are facing some of, we can fight back. Even it's not the balance, there's no balance at all, but we actually fighting for our principles. Though now they are trying to demolish this whole idea. For me now, with all these states and jokes and everything, I think that the only thing that we can fight for is the idea. That's all it.
No, I just want to give him my opinion.
Oh.
When he said right in Palestine,
Him your opinion or us your opinion?
start their own state. I think
Okay, so
you know that all Arab traditions were all related to Arabs, our brothers. So they just gave control of Palestine to Jordan and Gaza gave it to Egypt. That's it.
okay,
Because it all works with traditions. That's it.
because of tradition.
Yeah.
But why didn't Palestinians at the time say we want an independent state?
Because I think that they thought that Jordanians are the most related.
So it's close enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So close, and they say that it's nearly the same system.
They can
the
basically take
governmental
advantage
system.
of it. It's the closest country, it's on the border. So they can
So what about the idea, just talking out of my ass, what about the idea that Palestine here, I mean the West Bank, becomes part of Jordan?
Back then?
Now. What if that, now it's too late?
Look, now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not too late actually. It can't happen.
Why?
I mean, we have such a bad history with Jordan specifically.
Oh,
And
because
if
of
you-
interfighting
Black
yeah.
September will never be forgotten by any Palestinian.
Okay.
And I think even though, I mean, Jordan itself, it's 50% Jordanian Palestinian.
Something
so
like that.
basically, it can happen, but I mean, to go back in the name of the country to Jordan is gonna be hard because Jordan abandoned us. And they have kicked us out of their country, despite the fact they have the right to do so or not. But they did so, and to go back there, it's gonna.
No,
be,
you would still be, meaning you stay here,
I mean,
but it becomes Jordan.
yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point. That it won't happen because we can't go back in control to the people
Okay.
who actually kicked us before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think that for me, despite everything we said, despite Jordan, forget Jordan, the best solution is to go back into the occupation without the state. Just like
To go what? Sorry?
To go back directly under the occupation authority without these.
Have Israel control.
That's
Why?
Because I mean we're not having so much like benefits from the presence of the PA now. It's doing nothing. It's actually just like the let's say the bridge between us and the Israelis. They're doing exactly what the Israelis telling them, and that's actually, I mean, it's killing me. I mean, we don't need a bridge to deal with our occupation. If he want to come right now and take me from the university to jail, he can do so. No one will prevent him. So this whole is just like, you know, it's like a play, and we're all actors. But some people play their roles very well that they eventually believe it. They believe that there's a state. They believe that we can actually go back in such a circumstances, and it will never happen.
وليش ما فيش دولة فلسطينية نشأت عام 1948 أو 1967؟
أنا بالنسبة لي وجهة نظري ومعرفة التاريخ والقضية هي كانت كلها مجرد خيانة من الأنظمة العربية وهيك
It was because of the treason of the Arab countries.
والوعد بالفور اللي أعطته بريطانيا لإسرائيل بالتعاون مع الأنظمة العربية كانت موجودة.
And Balfour promised to establish a Jewish state for the Israelis.
But the treason, because there's no Palestinian state in the West Bank because of the treason of the Arab countries? And is he angry about that?
بقول لك إنه ما فيش دولة فلسطينية بالضفة الغربية لأنه بسبب الخيانة العربية.
حكيت 48.
إيش؟
أنت حكيت بعام 48 شو؟
لا إنه مش على الحدود بالدولة يعني إنه على السنة نفسها. إنه ما كان في دولة فلسطينية عام 1948 ما انتشأت ولا نشأت عام 67.
ولأن كان تكون المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية هي كانت الأردن وفلسطين دولة واحدة.
Like Jordan and Palestine were like a once
48.
in 48.
What?
He said that Jordan and Palestine were one country in the 48.
Okay, so why didn't they make a Palestinian state then?
ليش ما عملوا دولة فلسطينية بذاك الوقت؟ وقت ما كانوا فلسطين والأردن دولة واحدة.
مش عارف بس يعني ما كانش في فرق كنا عرب مع بعض ما كانش في شيء اسمه فلسطين أردني كان كله عرب مع بعض.
I don't know. It wasn't that. It didn't matter. It was like Arabs, not Palestinian and Jordanians. So it was Arabs, not the nationality of the Palestinians.
Got it. Okay.
بحكي إنه ليش ما نشأتش دولة فلسطينية آسف.
ايش هو السؤال؟
السؤال بحكي إنه ليش ما نشأتش دولة فلسطينية ما بين العوام 1948 وعام 1967.
ليش ما انتشأتش؟ لأن في دولة إسلامية.
Because there's no Islamic state.
لم تكن دولة إسلامية. بس بظل دولة إسلامية تكون دولة ما فيش دولة فلسطينية ودولة إسرائيلية. دولة فلسطينية. دولة إسلامية.
There's no Palestinian state in Israel. There should be like an Islamic state.
Got it. Does he mean an Islamic state like Daesh or?
دولة إسلامية زي داعش؟
لا
بالنسبة لك؟
لا مش زي
No, not like
that. So what?
دولة إسلامية بتكون على جميع الأراضي الإسلامية بظل الدولة الإسلامية.
Like an Islamic state that is established on all the Islamic lands.
Okay. What happens to Christians and Jews?
إذا قامت الدولة الإسلامية شو بصير لليهود والمسيحيين؟
بيعيشوا بظل الدولة الإسلامية على زمن الدولة العثمانية كيف كانت الدولة العثمانية على زمن سيدنا محمد.
It's just like the prophet times they were like people.
يعني زيهم زي أي حسب الإسلام بيعيشوا.
Like according to Islam they live like freely, but under the rule of the Islamic law, under the Islamic state.
Okay.
إنه ليش ما نشأتش دولة فلسطينية ما بين الأعوام 1948 وعام 1967.
ما نشعرش؟
ما نشأتش يعني ما فيش دولة فلسطينية ما سووش دولة فلسطينية بهذول الأعوام.
طبعا هو يعني إذا بدي أجي السبب واضح.
The reason is obvious.
كل قوانين هيئة الأمم لصالح إسرائيل وليس لصالح قضيتنا الفلسطينية وليس لصالح أصلا الدول العربية والإسلامية. كل هيئة الأمم تعمل لدى إسرائيل.
Okay, all the Arabic League of Nations resolutions are all pro-Israeli, not pro-Palestinian.
Really?
يعني
Okay.
هناك في قرارات بخصوص قضيتنا ودولتنا لم تنفذ على أرض الواقع لأنه إسرائيل هي الأقوى في العالم حاليا.
There are some
وبشكل مؤقت
resolutions.
ركز عليها لأنه حينقلب الزمن على إسرائيل إن شاء الله قريبا.
There are some resolutions like the pro-Palestine that are not applied on the ground, and because like all the word is Israel now, he said, and inshallah, like by the will of God, this will change.
So all the world is what, Israel? Pro-Israel? You said?
إنه العالم ما
Against,
إسرائيل.
yes, against our issue, Palestinian issue, in our case.
So, okay. But in 67, 48 to 67, why didn't Jordan make this Palestine?
I don't know. I was kids.
Okay.
مصر دولة فلسطينية ما بين الأعوام 1948 وعام 1967. يعني بالنسبة لك شو السبب؟
من ال 48 لل 67
يعني هدول الأعوام ليش ما صار لنا دولة؟
من 48 لل 67 وليش في عندك عاملين؟ العامل الأول العامل الداخلي اللي هو بيرجع لنا كفلسطينيين. يعني كانت في صدمة من بعد الحرب ال 48 كان في تهجير وكان في قتل من قبل الإسرائيليين فإحنا ما استوعبنا. نعم.
بس شوي أترجم.
نترجم.
Okay. So first, it was like there are two reasons. One is the internal reason. He's referring to the shock that the Palestinians had after the 48 war.
اوكي فاحنا نتيجه هاي الصدمه ما كان في عندنا رده فعل مناسبه حتى احنا نقوم بعمليه التحرير يعني ما اشتغلنا عشان احنا نقدر نحارب فلسطين هذا من جانبنا كفلسطينيين.
So we didn't have like the proper reaction to like make people work in order to achieve liberation.
اوكي كانت من جهه دوليه خلينا نسميها من جهه عربيه ما كان في مسانده من قبل الدول العربيه والدول العالم للشعب الفلسطيني بحيث انه موقف معاه وقت ما صار الاحتلال الاسرائيلي في 48.
Okay. The second reason, which is the international or the Arab, he said, is that they didn't really like the internationals and the Arab countries didn't support Palestine against the Israeli occupation.
Wait, the occupation of like from 48
الاحتلال من
or 67?
from the 48.
بعدين حتى الامم المتحده ما نفذت قرار 49 تبع صادر سنه 1949 بتقسيم فلسطين 51 و49% يعني ما نفذت اعطت قرار بس ما نفذت القرار في هذيك الفتره.
The UN resolution in the year 1949 that says that there will be like two states was not really applied on the ground.
Okay.
That's why we didn't have it.
Why wasn't it applied on the ground?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. ليش ما تم تطبيق قرار تقسيم فلسطين؟
ليش ما تم تطبيق؟ لأن دائما الدول العالم تكون مع الأقوى وكانت مصالح الدول الغربية أمريكا وبريطانيا مصالحتها كانت مع إسرائيل وبالتالي مش راح تنفذ قرار يعني بيأخذ من حق إسرائيل.
He says like because like mostly the international community goes with the stronger and the international relationships and the international goals got along with the Israeli government, so that's why.
وجود إسرائيل في المنطقة هنا بالدرجة الأولى هو بيخدم المصالح الأمريكية والغربية بشكل عام.
The presence of Israel in the Arab region like serves the Americans and the Europeans in general.